What's going on, everybody? It's Brendan, Dad Planet. Welcome back to the One Man Show. I'm like hiding in my daughter's room because they're doing the gutters on the back side of the house. So there's pounding going on. It is insane. Anyway, I got a What's Sold on eBay video coming to you. This covers the week of June 1st through the 7th. And when I do What's Sold on eBay videos, I only cover 15 items from the week of sales that was. I do more volume than that on a very part-time basis, but these are amazing sales. In fact, with the exception of 3 of these items, every one of them sold in under a month. So stay tuned. All right, we can June 1st through June 7th, 2,400 in gross sales, just under 1,600 in net. My selling cost at 30% as always, and my average sales price again down a little bit, but I did sell 51 items, up a little bit. All these numbers look great. The most important thing about all of the sales from this week, at least regarding these 15, is that the vast majority of them sold in under 1 month. So let's take a look at them. This first one is Transformers, the Ultimate Battle, Optimus Prime versus Megatron. Now, if you search the UPC code for this on eBay and you look at the solds, you'll see a bunch of them selling in like even the $15 to $25 range, but that's because they don't include the 2 mini-cons that my one does. They're sharing the same UPC for whatever reason. I think this is a UK release, but what made mine a little bit more rare, again, is the 2 figures on top. So I guess to a collector, the box condition that it was in, as you can see, it's a little bit damaged, really didn't matter. It's the figures inside that mattered, and because mine was a rare UK release, I was able to get $75 for this. This buyer is $92.81 all in. Again, it was only $5 at a Goodwill. If you've been following me, you saw me source this at one of my thrift run trips recently, so this was a really good haul, and this sold in 2 weeks, so a nice fast sale. All right, vintage waterfall triangles from Tomy. This is from 1976. Very old. I'm sure some of you recognize this. There are other iterations of this game, but this one is a really hard to find model. And so I saw a bunch of solds in the $30 range, but I thought maybe because of its rarity and the fact that it is still in demand, I might be able to bump my asking price up for a little bit. So I put it at $35, and that's what it sold for. So I'm fortunate because this is one of the higher end sales for this. Not only that, this went out overseas. So this buyer is $65.27 all in if you factor in customs fees in addition to the shipping and taxes. It cost me, I don't remember exactly, I think it was $2.99, could have been $3.99, but it sold in 2 days. A very fast sale. Please keep your eye out for this one, especially the waterfall triangles from 1976, because again, these are going to land, you might even be able to get $40 because of how difficult they are to find and source. So, all right, Chef's Choice knife sharpener. This is the Trizer Edge XV, I believe is the model. And I sold this one really quickly as well. I sold it for 70 bucks. I think if I listed it again, I would probably try to get maybe $80 for it. As it stands, I will take that sale. This buyer is $87.51 all in. This cost me $6.99. This also sold in 2 days. So this is a bona fide bolo. You heard me talk about this briefly in a previous video. So really keep your eye out for it. You just like train your eye to look for Chef's Choice knife sharpeners, but this one especially great sale. Disc golf is not my wheelhouse. I am not familiar with it, so I'm not sure if I left any money on the table. If you have experience in disc golf, feel free to comment on this one. But what I do know is at 174 grams, if you look on the back of some of the disc golf discs, they have this the weight imprinted on it, and I think size matters when you're talking about disc golf. So this is a Champion Orc from Innova. PFN, and I had it listed for 25, sold for 25. So this buyer's $31.48 all in. Really only cost me about 50 cents. I found it at a garage sale with a bunch of other things that I have listed. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 more of the discs left to sell, and I sold some off in bulk as well. Tie-dye model, again, maybe could have sold for $35. I'm not really sure because I see comparables all over the place, and I don't know enough about the minute details to ascertain whether I left money on the table for this one or not. But I'm happy with the sale. But really, like, if you are well versed in disc golf, school me on it in the comments. I'm not really sure, but I'll take the $25. This was a great sale, and that was a fantastic garage sale, so it was a good find. This is a very in-demand style of Birkenstock shoes. So it's a Bend Low, obviously. If you search Birkenstock Bend Low, you'll see around, I think, 80 to 84 listings. If you sort by solds for the last 90 days, you'll see 114 or so of solds. It's a very in-demand style of shoe. The color doesn't matter as much. It's just this in general. This is the Sandcastle color, but you will see other variations of this shoe selling for for very high dollar amounts. So I had this listed for $80 and I took an offer of $63. So this buyer is $79.61 all in. They cost me $4.69 and they took 1 month to sell. Keep your eye out for Birkenstock Bend Low. This style here, you'll see a little bit of the cork. Like if you look at the Nike Air Max, they have that little air bubble. In this spot on the Birkenstock where the air bubble would be, you'll see a little bit of the cork that you would normally see on a Birkenstock sandal. So keep that in mind. It's an easy style to identify, but once you see Birkenstock, you know, just pick it up. Babolat Babalet, I don't know how you pronounce it. It really matter to me. I'm not a tennis guy, so this is another one of those things that I was kind of learning on the fly. And that's the beauty of this business. You just pick something up, you open up your eBay app and sort by solds and kind of learn on the fly. It's what I do a lot of the time. So this was a Pure Drive GT. I think the fact that this was a 4.5 inch handle made a little bit of a difference in the price. Again, I'm not entirely sure, but this thing was in fantastic condition. I don't remember what it cost me. This was also in one of my previous videos as I was sourcing it live. $5, let's call it, and I had it listed high. I had it listed for $125, but I did take an offer of $80. So this buyer is $103.89 all in. It only took 3 weeks to sell. A very in demand, like the Pure Drive GT model, and the fact that it is a Cortex had a hand in getting a higher price. So keep that in mind. Babolat, I can't tell you if every single one of them is a home run as far as pricing goes, but it doesn't have to be. You just pick it up and learn on the fly like I did. So this was another fantastic sale. Picked this up at a garage sale, only cost me a couple bucks. Columbia Bahama PFG, which I think stands for Performance Fishing Gear. I haven't actually looked that up. It could be something completely different and make me sound like a fool, but I think it's Performance Fishing Gear. This was a woman's shirt, size medium, teal blue, and I did get what I believe to be a higher price for this. I see a lot of them selling for a little bit lower, even brand new with tags. So I got 30 bucks for it. This buyer is $37.05 all in, and it sold very quickly as well. It only took three days to sell. But what I notice is in the comparable solds, they're selling brand new for around $25. So to get 30 for this, maybe the teal color had something to do with that. Is wonderful to me. I've learned to look up, especially when we're in summer, look up the fishing gear items for Columbia. I've sold a lot of the men's fishing gear shirts. Even if they have some company embroidery on them, that hasn't made a difference. They still sell. So now's the time to source these, look them up. The only reason I think I had this listed for $45 is there was a recent sold, like I think the 90 days has expired. So you'd have to go back into Terapeak to find it. But there was one that sold for around $45 to $50. So when I found it, even though it's a 2020 Plush, that's what I listed it at, and that's what it ended up selling for. So Invader Zim Robot GIR, I don't know anything about this cartoon or show or whatever it is, but I sold it for my full asking price. So 45 bucks, this buyer is $52.78 all in. It's only cost me 99 cents and it only took 4 months to sell. Sometimes you just never know. This is one of those instances where I'm just following what the previous person did and got paid for it. So great sale. Clarisonic is a business that went out of business now. It's been a couple of years. So whenever I see Clarisonic items, pre-owned, brand new, I always look them up because it's still in demand, relatively speaking, and you can't get it anywhere other than the secondary market now. So this is a Mia First skin cleanser. The Mia First models, there's not a lot of them. They don't sell particularly quickly, but again, I'm still gonna pick this up because it's small enough. You just throw it in a bin and, you know, when it sells, it sells. And that's what happened in this case. So 60 bucks is the selling price. This buyer is $75.56 all in. I think this cost me $5.99. But it did take 1.5 years to sell. Now, this is one of those items that's very small. It doesn't take up any space in my basement, so I don't care how long it takes. Again, I'm not playing the fast nickel slow dime game here. I want to grow my inventory numbers, and I still, for the most part, have a little bit more room to grow before I have to start talking about getting a storage unit for like the next level, but that's a discussion for another day. So this was a great sale. Again, Clarisonic, look for their like replacement items as well. These 1-button cleansers are still selling well, so keep your eye out for this brand because again, they're out of business. It's harder to find. Can you see me picking items up that I don't normally get involved in? This is the best part about the business is some things that you just end up learning that you would have never have guessed had any value. When I look at this bag, I don't think anything of it. And this is what happens with a lot of items that I resell. So Rebecca Minkoff, this is a Julian model backpack. It's unique in that it's like a green, gray, camo style bag. But this Julian model from her appears to sell very well. So I had this listed for $85 or $90. And I took an offer of $76.49. So this buyer is $91.09 all in. It only cost me $5 at a rummage sale, and it only took 2 weeks to sell. So a fast seller. The camo style, a little bit unique, but if you look at the comps on the screen, the selling prices are very high, even for these pre-owned bags. I don't know exactly where this brand is sold. So if you have that information, feel free to put it in the comments, but I will take this sale all day long. This bag was in fantastic condition. This buyer has already left me glowing feedback, so I will take it. Another wonderful one. Okay, this is a lot of vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. Now, I got this at a church sale, so I only paid $5 for all of these. Individually, they were like between $5 and $15, and I could have maxed out my asking prices and the amount of a return I would have gotten on each one had I listed them individually. I didn't want to do that, so I listed all of them together at $50, and they eventually sold for that price. So this buyer is $65.55 all in, and these only took 3 weeks to sell. Now, vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. There are lots of them that will make you a decent amount of money. There are a few, however, that are almost unbelievable. One of which I'm going to put on the screen right now for you. That is Scratched. I think he's from 1993. If you find him, you're going to make over $1,000. So if you're going to train your eye to find any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, look for this one, Loose. Even Loose, $1,500, $1,000, super in demand. Amazing what people will pay to get their hands on that childhood item that they loved, super rare, exclusive, whatever you want to call it. That's one of the ones you really want to hone in on. So keep your eye out for vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that one specifically. All right, this is a covered casserole here by Homer Laughlin. Now, the style is historical America, and these actually sell pretty well. There's pieces that will sell for, a very average sales price. This is one of the ones that's a little bit harder to find, and so that's, I think, why I was able to get $50 for it. This buyer is $66.68 all in. Only cost me a couple of bucks at a rummage sale, so I'm totally happy with that. And it only took 2 weeks to sell, so it was a very fast seller. I do have some other like plates and bowls from this line that I have listed that haven't sold yet, but this casserole, this covered casserole, was a fantastic find. So again, got it in a lot with a bunch of stuff, got it for an amazing price. Keep your eye out for this piece, it's in demand. All right, this was in one of my bin haul videos. You guys saw me source it live, song cassette. Giles, it's either Giles or Giles, I don't know, but they're joggers and they're definitely in demand. So I had these listed for $60. I took an offer of $50, and this buyer is $59.25 all in. At the bins, when you're paying by the pound, let's call this a couple of bucks it cost me, and they sold relatively quickly. They sold in under a month, so this was a great sale. But the Giles style is one that's in demand on eBay, so keep your eye out for it. Great prices pre-owned, even higher if you can find them brand new. 6 months ago, I would never look at a pair of Crocs. Fast forward, I look up almost every one I get my hands on. I saw these at a garage sale. So the style is Axel. They obviously have laces, duck shoes, low, camo. And one of the interesting things about this pair is they had the paint chipping away in certain spots, and that did not deter the buyer from paying my full asking price of $50. Unbelievable. So this buyer is $64.33 all in. A couple of bucks at a garage sale. I think it was $2. It may even been less than that. They may have sold them to me for $1 now that I'm thinking about it. And they only sold in one day. So this style of Crocs shoe in very high demand. Outside of the paint wear, they came in great condition. So this was a fantastic sale. If you are not sourcing Crocs or you're not looking them up, change that. I am so happy I did, because I've sold tons of them in the last 6 months. All right, and this last one, again, another one that's not my wheelhouse. Paint. This is like very old paintball gear. This is a Spider Sonics gun. If you look up the Sonics guns, you'll see they sell for a pretty decent dollar amount. This one had a bunch of bells and whistles in it. I bought this at a garage sale for $20. I think I had it listed for $100, but I took an offer of $80 because it did take 9 months to sell. So I'm happy with the $80, and the buyer is $108.50 all in. So for $20, even though I had to sit on it for a little while, it's gone, and I'm totally satisfied with that. Yes, you can sell paintball items on eBay without any type of restrictions as far as I know. So feel free to list them at ease, but there's 15 more bolos, and I hope you enjoyed those. Only had a minute or so to hit a thrift store today, so I went with my oldest. Did find this Monster High doll. So you see a bunch of bags here. One of the bags was loose, and I found the doll. I didn't really want to buy any of the other ones, so I took this up to a manager. I said, hey, look, someone went through this. What do you want to do? She's like, I'll sell it to you for $1. It's no problem. And repackaged up all the other stuff. But this is Rebecca Steam. She's a first wave Monster High doll, and it looks like I might be able to get $30 to $40 for her, because she's a little bit rare. So Monster High dolls, they do very, very well. Please keep your eye out for them. I was just checking at the time I was looking to see if I could find any other Monster High dolls, but I'm actually very appreciative of the management staff for just allowing me to buy the one, even though somebody clearly opened that up. But that's a great find. Keep your eye out for the Monster High dolls. Just want to throw that in there at the end because it was the only trip I could take. So it was still successful, even at $1. Thanks so much for tuning in. That's all I got for you today. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the one-man show. Hit that like button if you liked what you saw or you learned something today, and then always consider becoming a member of the Dad Planet family by subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon so that you know every single time I upload a video to YouTube. That is it for today. Appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next video.